Welcome back. It is 5:13 on this Wednesday morning. We're about halfway through the work week and we're getting closer to the weekend. And as we take a look across the board, things are nice and dry here across the entire southeast, which is great news from the Carolinas to northeast Tennessee, all the way down into parts of Georgia and Florida. Of course, the recovery effort still ongoing across these areas, especially off to our east. So they need the dry weather. That's exactly what they're getting on this Wednesday morning. Now, taking a quick look at your power outages, about 380,000 in Georgia, nearly 500,000 in South Carolina, and 350,000 in North Carolina. And keep in mind, this is nearly 5 days now with some of these areas being without power. So things are looking better, but it's still going to take a time to get all of these completely restored. So thinking about those alignment off to our east, working diligently today. Locally, we're dealing with a little bit of fog here across the Blue Ridge Mountains. Visibility right at 0 into Blue Ridge and Murphy. Athens, visibility right at 1 mile. So if you're traveling in these areas, especially off to the east, just be mindful you're going to run into some fog. Also along the Cumberland Plateau down into northeast Alabama. So in the valley, not a whole lot of fog. The mountains, we got a little more fog. And taking a look over downtown Chattanooga, not a bad start. Sunrise is 7:37, so we still got about 2 hours and 15 minutes or so before we get into the daylight hours on this Wednesday. Temperatures are comfortable, 66 in Scottsboro, 65 in Chattanooga, 60 in Murphy, and a nice 59 in Blue Ridge today. Highs a little bit warmer than what we had for your Tuesday, likely topping out in the low to mid 80s. I think Chattanooga will hit 84, 82 in Lafayette, and 82 in Dalton. And look at this muggy meter. So what's going to happen over the next couple of days is, yes, we're still going to be dealing with the humidity and warm temperatures. So it's going to feel kind of like early summer. But by the time we get into your Monday and Tuesday, that humidity is going to start to drive off a cliff a little bit, as we're going to be tracking out a front coming through on Monday. So this is also going to bring some cooler temperatures. Going to be very warm over the next 6 days, but Monday's kind of the turning point. And then Tuesday through much of next week, we're going to have highs in the 70s and overnight lows in the lower 50s here in the valley. And some areas could even drop into the 40s. And as we get closer and closer to Halloween and eventually Thanksgiving, of course, the leaves really start to change. Not really seeing a whole lot of that right now here across much of our area. And typically our peak fall color is in early November in the valley, late October in the Cumberland Plateau, and mid-October across portions of the Blue Ridge Mountains. So likely to start to see that color changing, especially along the Tennessee-North Carolina line here in the next week or so. As for your futurecast, really not a whole lot to talk about today. We'll have a little bit of cloud cover here and there. Not expecting any rain, a nice breeze out of the north. And then going into the evening, we'll have plenty of sunshine here. Tonight, clear skies, just a little bit of cloud cover trying to sneak in for your Thursday. Maybe a stray shower or two as we get into Thursday afternoon as clouds start to move in from the south. Not expecting any widespread rain, but by the time we get into Friday, we'll have at least a slim chance of a few showers. But over the next 7 days, really not a whole lot to track. The heaviest rain looks to stay offshore in the Carolinas, Georgia, much of Tennessee. Only a slim chance of maybe a trace of rainfall. So certainly good news again for those impacted by Helene. No widespread rain expected. And as we take a look at your tropics, of course, things are still pretty active out there. We're kind of coming down from the peak, which was on September 10th, but we have this area in the Gulf that's going to be moving in probably the next couple of days, about a 40% chance of development. However, expecting this to stay to the south and not impact those same areas that just got impacted, of course, by Helene. We also have Kirk out there, expected to become a major hurricane shortly, but it's going to take a strong right hook, not going to impact our weather. And then we could have Leslie forming in the open waters of the Atlantic just off the coast of Africa in the next couple of days, so no threat to land, at least for the next couple of weeks. And here's where we're at right now. We're expecting this to come down for the next month or so. And of course, the last day of hurricane season is the end of November. Today, we're going to have a high of 84. Whole lot of sunshine. It's going to be warm out there tonight. Overnight lows dropping into the lower 60s, nice and comfortable. And then taking a look at your next 7 days here across the Tennessee Valley, it's going to be nice and mild through this weekend. If you have any weekend plans, it is going to be warm and sunny. Great weekend to get out and about. And then by next week, if you're ready for the fall-like temperatures, they're coming. It'll be sometime in the Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe.
Perfect. And then if you look even, 2 weeks after that, that's when we can expect our first frost. So it's going to change pretty quick.
Yeah, and the leaves will start changing, so we're almost there.
Thank you, Clay.